I joked. I probably joked to you at the game that I had a tough time getting to 53, getting down to 53. Then after that game, I had a tough time getting up to 53. I wanted to get rid of everybody. Um, but if there is, and you've been at every practice, every preseason game, if there is an Eagle that gets claimed on the waiver wire, give me a prediction who that might be.
Cut down day for the Philadelphia Eagles today, and that's what we're talking about here on Birds 365, McMullen and McDonald. And yeah, I don't expect either of you guys to ask my question to Howie Roseman today, because it would be a misplay. Not the fact that I'm not proud of the question or that I'd really like the answer to the question. Just today's cut down day, so you don't need to be rubbing salt in the wounds when Howie's got to actually.
Poor Carson Strong. If Tyree Jackson was healthy, he'd be the obvious choice, but he's not healthy. I forgot about Tyree.
Not going to be active, certainly week one. Well, we'll go there with either one of you two guys who are there at practice all the time. We going to see Tyree Jackson this year?
I think we will. I think we will, and it's going to be. They're going to have to do some tough choices because you're not going to carry 4 tight ends. You don't think? So I could see. I don't want to be. I could speculate. I could see the Eagles were having trouble with the passing game. Maybe you let go Stoll because he's your best blocking guy, but you also have Calcaterra, who's a good route runner along with Dallas Goedert. I like Calcaterra more than I like Stoll right now, personally. But I think we will.
Yeah, he tore his ACL in week 18, so that was early January. That's early September, 9 months. He's on the PUP list, so he's got to miss the first 4 games. I think he'll be ready to go by week 5, and then you got to make a decision. And who knows? Maybe that decision is made for you by that point. Maybe somebody's not playing effectively. And it's easy to get Tyree back. But you're right. It could be a difficult decision. You reported, Chris, kudos, 2 difficult decisions for the Eagles. The Greg Ward cut, who's been here for a long time now, and Richard Rodgers as well, who is eventually going to catch up to Julian Vanderbilt and how many times he's been back. But so the start of cut down day, are we going to see any splashy surprise curveballs, trades? There's talk about Jalen Reagor heating up, where that's coming from, Chris Franklin, but we'll keep that to ourselves. Anything surprising you expect to see?
I think it's going to pretty much stay chalk. I would have probably thought heading in there, I would have thought, hey, you know what, maybe they carry 3, but I think Reed Senate kind of sealed his fate on Saturday with some of those decision making. I question a lot, but I thought the biggest surprise for me early on was that Tartt was released. And I shouldn't say surprise because he's a veteran and his contract would have been guaranteed, but given I thought he outplayed Kayvon Wallace, I thought personally, I thought he was a guy that can give you that big nickel look with Harris and with Marcus Epps, but I just don't. The Kayvon Wallace experiment for me is over, and we're still remains on his roster. Things can change. Maybe they pick up somebody, claim off waivers by tomorrow, stuff like that. But I think Tartt for me, even though it was the day before, but today I don't think there's going to be any true big surprises.
All right. Why do you think Tartt is no longer an Eagle then?
Because I think they didn't want to guarantee that contract. I think when you look, especially if the Eagles only had say Marcus Epps and nobody, if Anthony Harris wasn't here, I think he would be the spot. It would make sense because he'd be a starter. But I think when you look at your third safety, who I don't think you're going to use that much in that role, in that type of role, to see the field as much, and then veteran guy having to guarantee that contract. I think the Eagles are going to try to save as much money as they can to roll over for next year. So, and if something were to happen to him, or he falls off the leg, or he becomes like Andrew Zadejo Part 2, then you don't go that route.
Exactly how big was Tartt's contract? That they're actually worrying about it.
No, it was It was one.
1.1
It
something.
was close to Anthony Harris with incentives, so it wasn't. I think he had an opportunity to make up to 2.5 million with incentives. So I think it was less than that on the base package. But you do bring up an interesting point, because when the Eagles signed Jaquiski Tartt, I said at the time he might start or he might get cut, because if he doesn't earn a starting job, he's not going to help you on special teams, and that factors into it a lot more as a backup player than a starter. When you see the versatility of Josiah Scott and Andre Sacheret, do you think that has been the difference between those players and, say, Jaquiski Tartt?
I think that helps push that along, especially when we saw Scott. And Scott actually played decently when he was in there.
Yeah.
Being that he plays well in the middle of the field, he's got the experience being in those tight quarters and shutting down those slot receivers. So I think that played a role. And Shasher, is one of the better gunners, and is one of the better gunners in the league when he's given that opportunity. So it was a tough. And you don't think of it as this way. I don't think it's a good way to say it was a good stacked safety group, but when you look at what some of these other guys do and the versatility that the Eagles coveted at a lot of positions, I think that helped those guys out a lot.
This is one of those days every single year here in Philadelphia. You can make the argument it's like 365, but there are certain days that are heightened more than others, and this is one of the heightened days for Howie Roseman as the general manager of the Eagles, because he's going to make decisions about the roster on players that he had already made a decision on by bringing them in. And then are you either looking bad because you've decided to go in another direction, admitting a mistake, whatever else? I'm going to make each of you guys Howie Roseman here for a second. Step into the Eagles general manager shoes.
It's good, because I'm very untrustworthy.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Shot on Howie score. And you're worried about me saying fuck to Howie. You took the shot at him there, McMullen.
That was
I was just talking theoretically.
That was a joke. I suppose now Chris knows. I suppose, Jody, you did not see The Athletic, Ben Standig.
Oh yeah, most distrusted.
Least trustworthy.
Oh no,
that's all. It was a joke. It was a joke.
But that's from somebody out of town. You're one of his boys. You're going to be one of the guys standing in front of him today.
Well, don't
Not
tell
the guy
that
from Athletic who said he's the most untrusted.
No, he didn't say it. The guy from The Athletic didn't say it. It was a survey of, I believe, 26 NFL agents.
And Howie Roseman led with 4, which is
and Joe Douglas was tied.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas, who's the nicest guy in the world, by the way, Joe Douglas. Yeah. But
I read that article quickly and moved on. But I'm not going to let you two move on. I'm putting you in Howie Roseman's shoes, okay?
All right.
What is the minimum in return that you would take to trade Jalen Reagor? If you're going to move on from Reagor, you're going to trade him, which is less of a cap hit than cutting him. There's a reason for it, in addition to the compensation you're going to get back for it. You're the general manager. You're stepping into Howie's shoes here. You picked them in the first round just 2 years ago. Add whatever credence to the decision you're making because of that. What's the least you will take in exchange for Jalen Reagor? Franklin first.
I'd probably go a 5th with a conditional 4th based on how much playing time he gets.
You stole my answer. Chris is so bright. Chris is so bright. 5 conditional with a condition. I would push. I'd take a 5, but I would push for it to turn into a conditional 4, especially if I got him.
All right. Yeah. So now, John, you first. I'm the pick a team, any team, Baltimore Ravens. I give you a 6th rounder. You're saying no?
Yeah, I'm saying no, because I don't have a punt returner. He's going to be my punt returner. Yeah,
we're making the call in 10 minutes. You still got Covey and whoever else on your roster. You're really keeping Jalen Reagor because you have faith that he's going to be good at punt returning this year?
No, he's the best I got. I think it's a more important role than people think, and I don't think the Eagles have an obvious replacement. Now it's they've been trying a bunch of different bodies back there. I haven't seen anything from Britton Covey as a returner, and even less as a slot receiver. So I'm not excited about that. So you're talking about me as the GM. Yeah, I would just hold on to him. And then there's the injury part of it. If you want that skill set if somebody gets injured, and hopefully it clicks, and I keep them as insurance.
You know what I would do? I'd probably trade Jalen Reagor in a 5th to them if they give me Chuck Clark in a 7th.
Oh, I can get Chuck Clark. He's out.
Chuck Clark's not leaving.
Yeah.
That's worth a shot. Like, I gotta call him like, you gotta do the Howie. Like, I kind of want Lamar Jackson to throw that in the deal too while you're at it.
I'm going to throw in. Yeah, I'm going to throw in stuff if I can get a starting
and give them Anthony Harris and ask for Marcus Williams too while you're at it. So why not rebuild the safety room all in one big fell swoop?
Might as well. Hey, if I'm going to play GM, I'm going to try to get everything I can possibly too. Yeah. Hey, throwing Harbaugh to be the special teams coach again? All right, cool.
The reason why I asked the question, the way I asked the question, Jeff Mosher, another good friend of the show, comes on whenever we ask him and has some good sources around the league. He just tweeted out in the last 10, 15 minutes, buzz around the league that Jalen Reagor's trade market is heating up. What that means, he doesn't go into details. How big
I know what it means, but I can't say what it means. I mean, look, I think there are teams that would trade for Jalen Reagor, but the problem is Howie is probably asked for more than what I asked for. And I don't think he's getting that. So how far does he come down? I think it would be best for both cases to have a change of scenery here. But it's good. The Eagles aren't cutting them because of the dead cap hit. What do you think of punt returner, Chris? Would you be comfortable with Britton Covey? Would it be somebody else? Would they try a Kenny Gainwell or somebody maybe outside the box?
See, I would try Covey only for a simple fact that you need somebody who's sure-handed back there, and
you no longer have Greg Ward for that,
right? And he's going to be it's going to take a while for him, even if they want to bring it back. It's going to take a while for him to recover.
He's not healthy, yeah.
And Aaron Moorhead said it too. You want somebody who can track it. Like, that's the most important thing, because you see him back there always helping out the returner. So they covet somebody who's more sure-handed more than anything. And I've seen, like, when you're watching the punters, I mean, Covey's been the one that's been the most reliable in that role when it comes to not dropping punts. I think I may have seen him drop maybe one. That's about it. And that's granted, that's playing ADD and going, okay, what's over here? Is there? Oh, okay, is there? Oh, right, he's doing that. But he's the one I only feel comfortable, feeling comfortable with. I mean, you got Quez, but if you expect Quez to have the role that he has in this offense this year, you don't want to risk him back there. So, yeah, you're probably gonna have to go with that. You're probably gonna have to go with Covey if that's the case. And I wouldn't be surprised if Reagor's doing the Lambeau Leap personally.
We've talked about waiver wire. Is that a potential waiver wire? The Eagles might look for somebody with return ability, because they need a kick returner too if they don't have Jalen Reagor.
That's why I think Watkins, if they don't have Reagor there, I think they let Watkins handle that role. I think they're comfortable with that, because 7 times out of 10, ball's going in the end zone, just see them go to the arms like this. Okay.
That was important, but he was not good at it early last season. People forget Quez was the lead kickoff returner, and he was bad at it.
Yeah.
To the point where Jalen was an upgrade. So I
wish the team had addressed this during the draft. I really think so, especially one of the 6th-round picks. I know you got Kyron, I know you got Grant, but I think especially with where the team finished last, I think they're in the bottom third in both. I think, at least I know, for kickoff returns, they're in the bottom third. I think that's especially given this is the potential this offense has for being good. You can't continually have them start in field position with it inside the 20 where you can get the ball easily at the 25 or a touchback. So I will look for that personally, but I can't think of any names offhand unless there's a big cut or somebody else like, hey, okay, get that guy. But yes, that's a position of need still, I think, for this team.
Chris, when will you, which means everybody who reads you also will know, when will you know if Jason Kelce is starting for the Eagles on Sunday? And how will you know?
I think we'll know probably that Wednesday practice when you see him around. I mean, he's out there stretching, even though he didn't participate. He's out there stretching, so he's starting to ramp up a little bit more. I think he's going to be ready to go. I think he's going to be there for week 1 because if there's any time
Oh yeah,
when
he's
you're looking
playing.
like that one too,
I'm
if he's
already
50-50,
sure
he's going.
he's
Yep.
playing. Now we're all day to day, but he's yeah. If he's in Detroit, he's playing.
Yep.
So
You ain't keeping him out. You ain't keeping him out that way. I think it would have to take a tear, and even then, knowing him, he's going to probably have to patch it up. He's going to have to worry about
he'll
that.
brace it up and still go.
Yep. So I think pretty. I wouldn't say. I say early next week. We definitely know for sure, and then go from there.
Yeah, and that's obviously the strength of the Eagles. Should be the strength of the Eagles, that offensive line. We haven't talked about that when it comes to cut down. On my final 53, which I'm already screwed because I picked Jaquiski Tartt.
Same here.
I went very heavy on the offensive line. I went 10 offensive linemen because I think it's the most depth, and they don't have depth at quarterback. They don't have depth at running back. They don't have depth at tight end. They don't have depth at safety. Is 10 too much?
That's the amount I had, and I had Opeta being the one. Although I really thought Coyote Awosika was going to be the guy that eventually was like earn a 53-man roster spot, but looking at some of the inside pressures he gave up on Saturday, I think Sua Opeta still does that, but I'm not still comfortable with Opeta in pass blocking. I think he's a really good run blocker. I mean, when he was lined up next to Mailata when Dickerson was out on a Wednesday, they opened big holes. Thursday, excuse me, they opened some big holes. But the problem is, if you got a blitz coming up the side, you better say how many lookout blocks you're going to get from on that side. So I think they keep 10 still because the team historically, they like to build around the trenches. I think they keep 10, but so I wouldn't worry about the depth. As I think they're pretty good depth wise at that position, along those positions.
All right, Chris. On a day like today, when there are going to be guys losing jobs, and you feel badly that that's the case, some people's dreams are going to end. The usual talking points on Birds 365 are pushed to the background, but let's bring them back up again. Are we good to go at quarterback? Because Jalen Hurts had a perfect quarterback ranking in the preseason. Perfect. John McMullen keeps reminding, perfect quarterback ranking for Jalen. So that's good. The Eagles got no questions.
By the way,
quarterback, right?
That is an NFL preseason record.
Has to be. Has to be.
Yes.
I think they're set at quarterback, and I think he's going to play well enough to we are going to be talking about him for the next 4 years from after this year. I really think he's that.
All right, then here's the follow-up question. Give me the date. Look in your crystal ball. When did the Eagles extend Jalen Hurts?
As Miss Cleo's cousin, I think they extend him after the week. It's calling me now that you do it after that. I think we'll see it after. I think it'll be after the season because because I guess I can imagine right now. You go through there, they win a playoff game, they get knocked out by the Bucs or the Rams. They get quiet. They say, you know what? We're thinking about it. We're going to assess the season. We're going to see how it goes from there. Meanwhile, I think around probably like week 17, 18, there's some back channels going on. Like we think we want to keep him, and then we'll hear it sometime around right before the draft that they extended him. So I think it's going to happen. It's a matter of just they'll wait a little bit. Try to play a little hardball.
By the way, speaking of perfect passer rating, you know what a perfect passer rating on Saturday night? Tua. Yeah.
He better have.
Guys, jump on that bandwagon. I'm inviting anybody in.
No, I
want to get on that Tua bandwagon. I don't think either one of you guys have been there yet. You can join me if you want.
No, I'm just concerned. I assume he played before. I'm just concerned that Jalen just keeps the record, the preseason record. That's very important. I assume he played before that, so I assume Jalen has the record. And,
no, Tua wasn't perfect for the entire.
He will never lose that record ever.
No.
Moving
Forever
forward,
etched in there. Forever etched in. But I think I was shocked by their speed. Dolphins have a lot of speed, like depth speed too. Like they're a fast team, so they can be really good. I think they're.
Yeah. Speaking of, I joked. I probably joked to you at the game that, I had a tough time getting to 53. Getting down to 53. Then after that game, I had a tough time getting up to 53. I wanted to get rid of everybody. But if there is, and you've been at every practice, every preseason game, if there is an Eagle that gets claimed on the waiver wire, give me a prediction who that might be.
If they cut him, I can see Reed Blankenship. He can be one. And then I can see Deion Kane. I really think Deion Kane can latch on too, because I thought he showed a lot when it came to his quickness. I think he showed he's a very detailed route runner. He puts himself in positions to make the catch. And you see when, especially on those back shoulder feeds that the Eagles ran with Gardner Minshew and him, I think he has a lot of skills. I think that a lot of teams will covet. I think he reminds me in a way he can be like a Zach Pascal type guy. I really truly think he can be that. And if there's a team that with a wide receiver need, I can see him going down there. I would truly think he can be a really good wide receiver in this league.
That would be something that would probably sit in Howie's craw, because if Frigate stays and Kane goes somewhere else and plays well, just another guy that Howie passed over to keep Jalen Reagor. You better root against that. All right, here's what I'm rooting for this upcoming season, and I need both of you guys' input on this. I made a wager yesterday.
Oh,
I wagered that the Philadelphia Eagles would beat the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl this year.
Whoa.
By the way, I wagered that the Miami Dolphins would beat the Philadelphia Eagles as well. I played it both ways. What do you think I should get as odds for the Eagles beating the Dolphins or the Dolphins beating the Eagles?
Eagles beat the Dolphins plus 210 after what I saw. Dolphins, plus 210. So the Dolphins minus 210 when it comes to that. I think it's Dolphins look really good.
You're not understanding the wager. You're talking about in that game on that day. No, I'm talking about making the bet now. And all these other potential outcomes could happen. Like, I don't know, Buffalo against Green Bay for the Super Bowl. Certainly a much more figurable outcome.
I would think the Eagles would have an easier path. I'm not a betting guy, but I would think they would have the easier path to the Super Bowl than the Dolphins, because the AFC is so much stronger on paper. That's how I would, but I don't pay enough attention to those types of bets.
Then let me lay it out for you. And I was actually surprised. The Eagles at the spot where I made my wagers yesterday were 25-1. They were down from 30 to 25. I don't know why, because they just got beat 48-10. But preseason games don't mean anything, as per my buddy John McMullen here. You don't read anything into them at all. But they did come down 5 clicks. But that might have more to do with just Tyron Smith being out. So the Eagles are now the favorite in the East, or at least co-favorites in the East. So it was 25-1. Dolphins are 40. Didn't come down at all after putting 48 on the Eagles. But the payout is exactly the same. It doesn't matter whether the Dolphins beat the Eagles or the Eagles beat the Dolphins. 500-1.
That's a weird way that they have set it up.
Same thing. And you would think that the Eagles would be favored over the Dolphins, because one's only 25-1 to win their conference. The other one's 40-1 to win their conference. But it's the same exact payoff. So
I can see that from a Super Bowl standpoint, because if the Dolphins get through that AFC, at that point, they would be considered a really, really good team, I would imagine. Whereas even if the Eagles make it through the NFC, I don't think it's, they'll be considered a good team, but I don't think it will be considered as big as getting through the AFC.
So Dolphins, Eagles get to the Super Bowl. Dolphins are the favorite, is what you're telling me.
I would think so at that point. Right now, I would say the Eagles would be favorite. But at that point, if the Dolphins made it all the way through that AFC, I think that would turn them into favorite.
So if the Dolphins and Eagles were playing next week instead of the Eagles and the Lions, if they were going back down to Miami, you think the Eagles would be favorite?
Not in Miami, but it would be, maybe the Dolphins, the old school, you give them 3 points. Maybe the Dolphins are favored by 2 points, that type of thing.
If it's in Miami, I'd probably say
if it's here, 5-6 Eagles.
I'd probably put Dolphins 4.5. I thought they looked that good. Granted, especially it's something about the Shanahan coaches, the Shanahan tree coaches, that give the Eagles fits. And just around that thing. I don't know.
I love Kyle Shanahan, but 20 22 starters, 21 of them didn't dress for the Eagles. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares?
There's so much eye discipline in the way the Eagles like to have trouble with keeping contained some of those times. I can see it right now. Also, Tyreek Hill on the end around because
yeah.
I don't know,
They
somebody's
can't.
going up there like, oh, what's this? Oh, wait, he's behind me. Oh, too late.
All right,
Especially on the
CF,
run.
need you on the record because we're going to get everybody on the record between now and September 11th. Do you agree with me that, and I'm going to be nice because I've been a little nasty all day today. Do you agree with me that the Detroit Lions are just not a really good football team?
By the way, I got a big cut I got to throw on you guys.
Yeah, I think they're not good. I don't think they're a good team. Nice pieces, but team overall across the construction, I don't think they're that. It'll be the games will be closer. It won't be 30 points, maybe like 15, 10. But yeah,
with split the final quarter in half, 7.5 minutes to go. Will Eagle fans be sweating?
nah, I don't think so.
Neither do I.
don't think so.
I'm glad you're with me, Franklin.
All
right, what do you got for us, Mac?
Last one for me. See Franklin News. Read Chris at NJ.com. Kellen Mond waived by the Minnesota Vikings. I know Jody doesn't like this player.
No,
Eagles need a developmental quarterback. He was terrible, but obviously Nick Mullins was decided to be better. But the Vikings have a rookie coaching staff. Who knows if they know what the heck they're doing? Eagles love developmental quarterbacks. They need a better one than Reed Sinnett. They roll the dice.
Vikings quarterback. What position? Viking coach. What position did he play?
He played quarterback.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
I'm going to trust his judgment that if he thinks Kellen Mond stinks, and I think Kellen Mond stinks, yeah, I'm going with Kellen Mond stinks.
But do the Eagles think Kellen Mond? Is he an upgrade over Reed Sinnett?
He's an upgrade over Reed Sinnett, but I don't think he's the right guy to be on this. Like right now, I wouldn't take him as a 3. You know who I look at seriously? Jack Cohn. I look at a guy like Jack Cohn to if they need just to sit him in there.
But Kellen at least has some movement skills, so he can run the same offense. Where Jack Cohn is that traditional 6'5" drop back passer, like Carson Strong, basically,
right?
With a good knee. I don't know.
I'm just trying to help a brother out here. Chris Streveler. Think about it, Eagles.
Too old for the Eagles.
Chris.
Too old.
He had a good preseason.
He can play. I think
they should
be worried more about who can play than the age on the birth certificate.
He's a Grey Cup champion, too, Chris Streveler.
He's a winner is what he is. He's
Respect.
won 3 games for the Jets since preseason. Driving late in the end zone, stick it in.
And he won a Grey Cup. I don't know. Where did he go to college?
Better than Reed Sinnett. That I can pretty much guarantee you.
Yeah. I think I know Reed was a finance major. I think if his football career is done, I think he'll do well in that sector. But if he's manning the first team offense right now, it's going to look a lot 3 yards in a cloud of dust because it's going to be. I don't see it anymore. I thought he looked good early on, but now.
I hope Reed Sinnett put his money in good stocks or mutual funds or whatever. Hope the financial knowledge that he had, he's done well at building up that portfolio because, I don't know that he's going to be drawing an NFL check this year. Mr. Franklin, thank you very much. Thank you for laughing when I tried to be funny. We appreciate whenever you come on and lend us your Eagle insight. We'll get you on within the next couple of weeks.
And I'll see you later, Chris.
I'll see you later. And it's always going to be on Beer Burst 365, the PG-13 edition. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
We wasn't quite PG-13 today. But
TV-14. TV-14. R today. Rated R.
Yeah. Chris, that is Chris Franklin.
Thanks, guys.